How's it going, everyone? I know I haven't posted in quite a while, but today I felt compelled because today's May 15th, 2026, and I am celebrating 25 years, no drugs, no smoking. And I just got done journaling, and I was thinking, I know that some recovery pathways, they don't count time, days, months, or years, but I like to just because it just reminds me of how far I've come from doing certain things, certain activities, especially when it comes to my addiction. And I thought I'd take some of this time just to share with you some of my life lessons. But first, just want to acknowledge that my actual sobriety date that I share is July 18th, because today's the day that I stopped doing drugs and smoking. But I thought, I'm not an alcoholic, so I'll just keep drinking. Well, it took a couple months before I realized that I'm a blackout drunk. And so my last drink was on July 18th, and it was some Chinese wine that I thought, where I started to realize, when I drink, I tend to black out, so maybe I shouldn't drink for a while. And that's kind of when I got this inspiration to just quit drinking for a year, quit drinking and doing drugs and smoking for a year. And if I don't like it, if it's nothing changes or it's boring, then I could always go back. 25 years later, here I am. So obviously I liked the choice that I made about not using or drinking anymore. And I was in this SMART meeting last night, and SMART stands for self-management and recovery training. And for those of you that are not familiar with that recovery pathway, it's behavior-based. And in my group out here in Vancouver, they go through the book. They read a few pages before they start the meeting every time. And so they have, basically a lesson about the recovery book. And then they go off into shares, right? And what's cool about it is, like, if, you keep attending the meeting every week, you'll get through the book, because it takes maybe about 6 months. And so I've been there just about that long. And one of the things I've definitely learned about the SMART teachings is that they don't ever use the word, and I shared it last night, but they're teaching us how to love ourselves. And I think a lot of recovery is like that. That's what I truly believe. Like, even though it's behavior-based in SMART, their lessons cause you to look at yourself and reflect on yourself and question your behavior and question your motives, and then start to look inward on what things could be influencing your behavior, and what choices can you make to change your behavior, essentially, because we're all going to fight temptation. And that's the thing I also wanted to share. I was journaling about it this morning, that one of the things I've definitely learned from all these years of recovery is that temptations, they never really go away. They kind of rise up. They get less, and it takes a while. I don't know exactly when that happened. I think it would be different for everyone. Like, for me, I had this weird experience. It was just like maybe not much more than a year ago. I was watching a movie, and the character was talking about smoking cigarettes that he got, where the tobacco was made in Africa. And it got my mind going, thinking, oh man, I wonder what that tastes like. And I thought, in my recovery, it's okay if I smoke tobacco, because it's not drugs or alcohol, right? I mean, it's still smoking, which is something I really wanted to quit. And, well, I just let that thought go. But then every day for 4 months, the thought of smoking a cigarette kept rising in my mind and body. And I had to actually fight it off every day. It was the weirdest thing, I would crave it. I felt like I wanted that taste and feeling in my mouth and body. And then after 4 months, it just went away. So I guess that would be the thing I want to share with you, that after 25 years, we're always going to be in recovery of some form, you know, whether it's from our addiction, but there's behaviors, there's attitudes, there's ways of thinking. There's always room for improvement and refinement. So hopefully that's helpful to someone. And if you haven't checked out SMART, I highly recommend it if you want to experience something different in recovery. All right, take care of yourself.